Make sure you join YouTube.
Okay, this ain't fine. It's not too bright.
And make sure you share it. Share the clip. So I'm going live. I say YouTube, I'll never do anything else. Send you the clip right now. Hey everybody, what's up? What is going on today? I am excited. Listen, we got a lot of great things happening here. So first and foremost, for those of you who don't know me, my name is Uche Onyemaepo. I am a leadership development specialist. I help organizations develop their leadership development across their enterprises for the next generation of leaders. I also help high-performing, aspiring entrepreneurs to start and grow their business, leveraging their natural gifts and abilities. So as I'm going live and I'm sharing on LinkedIn and YouTube, please comment and share this video. What I am doing now is what we're going to be talking about is part of a 2-day video event series where we are talking about how workplace trauma impacts your side business success. So before we get started on that, if anyone, as you're watching this, please let me know if you're watching a replay or share where you're from, comments, and all those great things, your name. That is amazing, right? So what we have coming up as part of the for this month is the Plan to Wealth workshop, which is a 2-day workshop to help you learn how to turn your knowledge into currency. Oftentimes, a lot of us don't understand the importance and how critical it is, and how our knowledge is what helps us be able to monetize and to increase the income and wealth that we have within us. So the 2-day workshop is going to focus on that. I have the link, if you see here, the workshop, the bit.ly Race to Wealth. And also in comments, you'll be able to click on that link where you can there be able to go and take a look and see what is being offered. Yes, yes. Yes, yes. Come on now. Let me hear some of this. Yes, yes. You know, one of the reasons why I wanted to have this workshop, Plan to Wealth workshop, was simply because of the amount of wealth that that really minority communities, we don't have a lot of. And I think it's imperative that we understand and learn how to leverage what we already have within us. Oftentimes, gifts that we have that are natural gifts and abilities are not pretty much we don't know how to leverage it and to be able to monetize from it. I went to college, got my master's, got my bachelor's in engineering, but no one told me how to leverage and monetize gifts that I'm amazing at. No one ever told me that, and I wish they would have. But now that I know, and now that I know how to leverage that, that is essentially what I'm doing. And just like someone taught me, my goal is to teach others as well. Hey, Joe, thank you for joining us today. So please like, comment, and share what we are going to be talking about today, and to others as well. Please, for those of you who are on Facebook or Instagram, please post and share. And I am putting in the comments how you can register for the Plan to Wealth workshop that's coming up on November 15th and 16th, so that you can register for it and come out and check it out. Listen, if you're like, I really don't know, come and check it out anyway. There is the cost is low, but the gain is insane. Okay, let me repeat that again. The cost is low to attend, but what you're going to learn and gain is astronomical. There is no cost the cost that we're getting right now is going to be ridiculous. So make sure you come and join us, and we'll go from there. Yes, yes. Yes, 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 yes. All right. So, for those of you, again, let me just reintroduce myself. My name is Uche Anye Maple. I'm a leadership development strategist. My company helps aspiring entrepreneurs and high performers to start and grow a side business using their natural gifts and abilities. And we also help organizations, corporations to develop the next generation of leaders across the enterprises in a more and help them be able to modernize how they're doing that in a more effective way. Yes? Okay. So on Tuesday, what we are talking about in this two-part series during Learn and Lunch is how to how your workplace trauma impacts the success of your side business. And on Tuesday, I discussed what does workplace trauma look like, and how you're able to be a witness and see the results of that. And today what I said I was going to talk about is how you can conquer that. So here is earlier before this, I was having a great conversation with my significant other, and we were actually doing a use case, right, or a case study. So pretty much, if you in the engineering world, you do use cases, and we're doing a case study. And what we were doing was mapping out how do I was asking him, how do you think people are able to conquer workplace trauma so that they understand that they need to start a side business, because each one of us have had different things. Quick story: in 2015, when I was at the point of frustration, because I've always been a high performer, right? So no one could ever question my delivery of what the work that I was doing, the quality of the products. I was an overachiever. I went far and beyond in what I did. And in 2015, what I was noticing that is that I was applying for jobs, but I was not getting selected. And it could be any plethora of reasons, right? Well, you don't have this much experience. You only have 6 months experience in this when we're looking for a year experience, or we really don't know you. So it was a plethora of things. And as a result of that, I felt like they didn't value the knowledge and skills that I could bring to the table. And what shifted for me, that was when I had a career coach. Let me be clear. The coach that I had, and we focus on my career, she was able to perform a strength finder assessment, which is what I give all of my clients now. That assessment confirmed, reaffirmed, gained me the confidence of what I know I needed to do moving forward. And it also opened up my eyes into me wanting to start my own consulting business. This was 2015. I didn't know how I was going to do it. I just remember going to look for buildings. I remember posting on Facebook that this is my new office space. And people asked me, "What are you doing? What did you do? How did you get it?" I had no idea what it was going to be. But I knew at that point I had enough confidence in myself that what I was currently in was not going to be all that I do. So what I put a one in chat if you can relate to this, that that you have more to offer than the current 8 by 10 building, 4 by 6 building room space that you're in. You just don't know how to do it. Yes. And I'm talking to people who are actually working a full-time gig. You know that you are phenomenal at what you do. You know that you provide impact and positive value. Excuse me, you provide value and positive impact. And you know this. However, for whatever reason, the people that's in your leadership chain, where you need to make more money, where you need to get into a position where you have authority to impact change the way you want to, where you want it to be, there is something stopping them from allowing you to put yourself in that position where they're not giving you the opportunity to do so. Yes. So if that is you, put a 1 in chat and say, yes, that's me. And you're at the point where you don't know what to do next. Well, here's something that I want to offer you to consider. I want you to consider taking what makes you amazing and start your own business. But before you can do that, I missed this step. And it wasn't until that I was talking to my significant other that I realized that I had to go through this step in order for me to have the epiphany, in order for me to have the vision, in order for me to be able to see myself doing something more and bigger. I had to create, and this is, he coined this, a confidence bubble. A confidence bubble. I had to create a bubble that helped me gain my confidence in my full-time environment that allowed me to be able to see the vision that I had for myself. So here's the difference. I have been in positions where I knew that I was phenomenal, but because I was in the valley, I couldn't see beyond the valley that I was in. If you know what a valley looks like, right? A valley has high rock formations, mountains around it. And when you're in that valley, you can't see anything than where you are at that level, right? And when you are in a valley, when you are in a position where you are frustrated, when you're in a position where you don't feel confidence, when you are in a valley where you are self-loathing, all you can see is what's around you. But when you put yourself in an environment like a confidence bottle, you begin to rise. You begin to rise and take yourself out that valley where now you're able to see the peaks and tops of mountains. And once you get there, you can see the vastness of what's exists in front of you. Hence, it's now you're able to visualize where you can be. So in order to conquer that workplace trauma, I'm going to offer you a couple of solutions. One that has worked for me, and another one is where I was actually, talking to other people. The first thing is, I believe, is to recognize that you are in a position that you no longer see yourself growing. You got to recognize it, and to some extent is called awareness, and to some extent just accept it, right? Just acceptance doesn't mean that you don't have a plan forward. It's just that you are acknowledging that this is where I am. I don't want to say acceptance because acceptance seems permanent. You're acknowledging where you are in the moment. Yes? Okay. And then the next thing that I would recommend that you do, because this is what I did, is I did get a coach. I got with someone who had nothing to gain but to pour into me. And let me be clear. The difference was, and she says this all the time, I was willing to be vulnerable and I was willing to accept the help. Oftentimes, we're not willing, we're resistant because we're still angry. But I had come to a point where anger was no longer serving me. It was detrimental to me because anger pollutes your mind and it doesn't allow you to see the possibilities. And when you are trying to shift into a position of abundance, you have to let go of the anger, which allows you to be vulnerable, which allows you to receive the input and the love and support that people are pouring into you in order to create that confidence bubble. Yes, she worked with me for 6 months. And as a result of that, my mindset, my behavior started leveling up. I cannot tell you. I remember when all around me it was chaos, but I saw a bigger vision for myself, and what was around me no longer impacted me. Even if I had a leader come up and say, "Hey, Uche, we need you to do this in addition to," or they were giving me feedback, it no longer impacted me because I had a vision for my life. When you are in a confidence bubble, because I'm going to coin this, thank you for giving me this. When you are in a confidence bubble that allows you to create a vision for your life, the words, distraction, negativity that people have that try to come towards you, it bounces off. That's why it's called a bubble. It can bounce off. And that's what happened. So that's the first thing you got to do, as an example, is to get yourself in a position that you're going to allow someone to pour into you so that you can see the vision that you have on your life, where they can plant ideas, they can plant seeds, they can plant things that you never saw before, so that you can see yourself in the vastness of who you are. That's the first one. The second way that I'm going to also recommend is that when you are in an environment as a high performer and you've experienced workplace trauma from your leader, get out from under that leader. Yes. Listen, I got another example on that too. When I had my first son, I was working for someone who did not understand work-family balance. For me, that was my priority. And pretty much anytime I needed to take off from work to do anything with my kids, it was a heartache. And she was penalizing me for this. She was. And I realized I began to become fearful at work. If you want to talk about anything, is a mother or a father who is fearful at work because of their job, that's the worst thing you ever want to be in, because you're talking about a confidence debooster. That's what happens. I was afraid. And because when you're afraid at work of not having a job, your performance goes down because you're worried about everything else besides doing what you need to do. And a friend of mine, he came up to me, not going to say his name, but I love him to this day. He told me, and he was honest, he said, listen, you're going to have to quit being afraid, because they know you're afraid. And because they know that you're afraid, they're going to treat you anyway. That woke me up instantaneously. I had to change my environment. I had to change who had stewardship over me. I had to change that. Oftentimes, we are so afraid because someone tries to control how our life. Listen, you're at work majority of your life. The last thing you want to be in is an environment where someone has dominion over you. Only person should have dominion over you is God, no one else. And you should not allow anyone else to have that. So I want you to wake up right now. If anyone right now is in an environment where someone else has dominion over you, you are in fearful while you're working your full-time job, I need you to wake up right now and take back ownership of that. We talk about ownership all the time. Ownership is the key to wealth. And that also includes your mind, body, heart, and soul. Yes, yes. So when he made that comment, it woke me up. And I began to do things very incrementally. I did. I went from full-time to part-time. I took off every Friday. And in that moment, my goal was to make sure I got in a place that was not where I was no longer surviving, but I was thriving. And that I was going to work for someone who valued what I did. And it's let's be clear, it's not difficult to find people who value the work that you do. It's not at all. They are there. We just have to be willing to find them ourselves and not be afraid to ask questions and not be afraid to ask for information and not be afraid to ask for what you want. It's there. Everything you want is there. You have not because you ask not. I began to ask. And fortunately, I was able to remove myself from that toxic environment. and position myself that was more family friendly for me, for my family. And they gave me a confidence bubble. Yes. Yes. Listen, this was, whew, I could not communicate it in a way until me and my significant other talked about it. So if you're like, well, Uche, tell me, what is a confidence bubble? A confidence bubble is what you need in something that you are doing in your full-time job, because that's your baseline. Think about this. A lot of times when people leap from going from their full-time to entrepreneurship, is because they're fed up, they're stressed out, they're pissed off. And when they get over into entrepreneurship and realize that it's not simple, that easy, they begin again, that confidence. You begin to internalize, like, I should have never done this. And you get angry and you get upset. And I don't want that, because you got to deal with the issue at hand. The issue at hand is that you're in an environment when you're working your full time. Again, this is for my aspiring entrepreneurs and my high performers who are in confusion and are afraid to take that leap. You're afraid to take that leap right now because you don't have the confidence to do so, because of things that have happened at work. And what I am doing today is teaching you how to conquer that. The only thing you need to do, if you really are serious about this, you take notes and you create a plan on what you need to do to move forward. Now, part of the Business Accelerator program, which is what I am launching, right? That program is a 6-month program. It starts next year. But in order to get you started now, you can sign up for the 2-day Race to Wealth workshop, where we talk about how to turn your knowledge into currency. This whole program in itself is to shift so that you can no longer be on rocky ground, and that you can be on a permanent foundation, so that you can gain the confidence that you need in order to visualize yourself the way the Almighty has already ordained for you. Yes. Yes, yes. So a confidence bubble is simply this: putting yourself in an environment where you can thrive, where you feel great about yourself, where you are focused, so that you can leap and take everything that makes you amazing and start that side business. That's what it is. Because oftentimes what happens, right? We're in an environment, we can't stand it. We've been working hard and we just can't seem to find any traction. And we're going to find another job. The biggest problem is that you're not addressing the issue at hand. Why am I not thriving here? What is happening here that I you need to assess. And once you can definitely understand what is stopping you from reaching success, so that you can build your own successful business, then you take that leap. And one of the reasons why I started my program, the Business Accelerator, was because of that. It was actually because of a friend of mine who I love dearly. And she was in an environment where she was trying to get promoted, and she was trying to make more money. She was underpaid, and she was a high performer, and she had applied for a job. And the feedback they gave her was, and again, she is a manager. She's a deputy manager, assistant manager for a very great team. So she has, she got a master's, so she's phenomenal. But when she applied for a job, they told her, well, we need to see how you're going to do within the next 6 months. And that was when I was like, you know what? It is time for us to quit trying to prove the value we bring. And instead, we need to create our own resources, be the CEO of our own company, so that we can have unlimited. We get to create how much money we make. We get to run the business how we want to run it. We get to bring in the work we want to bring in. Because it's just not being valued. Yes, yes. Yes, yes. So that confidence bubble is to position you to feel great about yourself. It's to position you to make sure that you're in an environment where your confidence is up and running so that you can take that next step to build your business. Now, sometimes they're happening simultaneously, and that's okay. But the point is that you need to put yourself into it. You need to be moving towards it. You need to make sure that you recognize it, because there's no way to live. That is not a way to live when you're coming into a 9 to 5 every day, stressed out, don't know, hair falling out, don't know what's going to happen next, can't get paid, you got to go into battle. Whew. That's ancient. You don't have to ask for permission to live the life you want to live. You understand me? You don't have to do that. And when you come to my campus, the LEAP community, you won't be alone, because we'll be walking with you hand by hand, step by step. And if you don't know how to create that confidence bubble, that's why we're here. To give you unbiased, relevant information so that you can begin to create the life you desire. Yes, yes. And the only thing I'm asking you to do is to click that link, Race to Wealth, to sign up for the 2-day workshop, and your journey will begin. All right. Okay. So everyone, I just want to say thank you for coming. Thank you for showing up. Please leave comments in the comments. Please like and share. I love doing this. It gives me such joy to be able to help you the way people have helped me. But it started by me saying yes. And I'm asking you to say not yes to me, but to say yes to yourself. You owe it to yourself. You owe it to your family. You owe it to you to create the life that you want, so that people around you will now have the confidence to create the life they want. And I tell everyone this, it only starts with one yes. All right, everyone. Uche Maple, Leadership Development Specialist. Next week, I'll be dropping a 3-day video series. So make sure that you subscribe and get notified on my YouTube when they drop. Listen, it's going to be on fire. You hear me? It's going to be fire. So make sure you pay attention to social media. Make sure you pay attention to when what it's going to be about, and get notified. You don't want to miss this. You want to be there. All right, everyone, have a great one, and I'll see you next week. Bye.